talk. T3, I like to call it.
T-Tray.
Yeah, so
Tay-Tray.
Or T cubed. We haven't decided what the nickname is. First, you have to have a name, and then you figure out what the nickname is. Okay, you can't just come up with the nick. I don't like people who nick them themselves.
That's the fashion faux pas.
but it is time for the tax talk. We're going to talk about taxes. Actually, today, that's what we're going to do. So, just give me a moment. Oh man. No, we're not going to have an intro today, Jim.
That's okay. Listen, ladies and gentlemen.
I did all that work on the intro.
Fine. It's okay. Listen, at the end of the day, we're going to be talking about cryptocurrencies, what you need to know, some new IRS regulations that just came through. Also, too, we're going to just kind of answer some general discussion. I know that the crypto crash, or as we call it, C2, C squared.
T3 on C2.
C squared. It happened this week. It's not a laughing matter. People lost a lot of money. And we're going to talk about that too. So ladies and gentlemen, you got to remember Open Tax Advocates is there for you at 312-664-6649 or visit chicagotaxteam.com. It's going to be your hub to help fight the IRS. I had to think about that because we got a million different websites to go to really get help. Again, the point of the matter is the help's out there. Take advantage of it.
Well, thanks, Jim.
Yeah, I kind of left it on a weird dude. You got this.
I got it. Okay, so let me talk a little bit about the crypto because this just came out. Now it changed my story today because I was going to talk about unfiled tax returns,
and I know that I was really excited about.
Well, here's the thing. That's the most common question that I get. And it's actually the most common problem that I have when clients come to see me. Most of my clients have unfiled tax returns. Not all of them, but many. I think the vast majority. So, and then, we're going to have to talk about that because, so many of my clients, they have the same fears. And the fear really is, think about this now. If you're making, and I'm just going to use some rough numbers, let's say you're making $100,000 a year, okay, but you're not paying any taxes. Well, that's more like making $200,000 a year, isn't it? Because you're not paying any Social Security taxes, you're not paying any income tax, you're not paying any, right? So let's say it's 50% is taxes. I know that's a little generous, but so you're making $100,000 a year. You're living like you make $200,000 a year because you're spending all the money, right? Now, if you're going to go to the IRS and you're going to start, compliance, and you're going to start doing the right thing, and you're going to take the fear of going to jail out of your mind, and that's really what people are fearful of, rightfully so, right? You're running a business, you haven't paid taxes. This causes a problem. But now, if you're going to start paying taxes, now you got to start living like you're making $100,000, okay, not $200,000.
Which is poverty.
Yeah, well, let's say that it's split. Well,
I know.
It greatly reduces your income.
I'm just making a joke.
So now, not only are you going to pay $100,000, you're going to live on $100,000, like almost half of what you're used to living on. But now you got to pay back taxes, right? And now, so you're going to pay more than just your taxes. You're going to pay the taxes plus what all your disposable income towards the IRS.
And
so this is what people are afraid of. Okay. And so they so people come to see me and then they wait and they wait some more and they wait some more. And because they're afraid to take that step and change their life. And they're waiting for the IRS to step in and say, hey, it's time, better do something. But what happens is sometimes the IRS doesn't do that. And they're really not doing them a favor by letting it go on and on and on like this, because they're driving, so I've had clients who became heavy gamblers because they've got, they have this money. They don't really think it's their money. And they're waiting for the IRS to start. So they're kind of partying it up, waiting for the shoe to drop. And if the shoe doesn't drop, now, and this gentleman I'm talking about owes over $1 million to the IRS. How does that happen? Sometimes I always hear people tell me, what if they don't have, what do they say, Jim? I'm under the radar. I'm under the radar.
I'm skirting.
And I always tell people there is no radar. It's a computer.
It's a battleship.
Well, it's a computer. Yes,
it takes time to turn.
But they have the computer. The computer. You're in there. You're in the database. They know you're there. So why sometimes don't they do it? I don't know what the reason is there. And again, I think in the end, they're not really doing anybody a favor. This was happening a lot in payroll taxes. The IRS has gotten much, much better at coming after people with payroll taxes. Yes, Jim?
Thank you for calling on me, teacher, because you are a teacher and a philosopher and an overall great guy. This is starting to happen with the cryptocurrency, though, and this is why we wanted to kind of introduce this show with the cryptocurrencies and also, too, about how people are getting behind in their taxes. Well, now people have lost their rear ends to this crypto crash. How many people have been invested? I know, for example, we spoke with an individual a couple months ago where the majority of their portfolio is in cryptocurrencies. Well, they pull out a little bit here, pull out a little bit there, make a little bit of the payments to the IRS, but they're able to finance their home. They're able to do this. Well, Bitcoin is at 60,000. I got 1,000 Bitcoin. Do the math. We are good. I got Ethereum. I got Dogecoin. I have Litecoin, whatever, Mooncoin. I don't know. You got it. And all of a sudden it crashes. Well, now your home is, I can't really pull that money out and pay my home because it's not really worth as much, or God forbid, I've really taken all the equity out of these investments and I am just screwed now. This is starting to be a problem.
Well, this is wait a minute now. That's why investments, okay? That's why you have to have a diversified portfolio. That's why you have to.
I've heard that somewhere.
Well, that's why you don't put all your eggs in one basket. You have you heard that one?
No.
You haven't heard that one. Okay, but anyway, I get what you're saying. It's true. It's very difficult. I get it.
But this is starting to happen. People are starting to incur financial.
Now, I don't know. A lot of people that don't know this, and I've done this on the show about cash. Okay, so when you're dealing with cash, right? If you go to a store, let's say you go try to buy a car with cash. Okay, and it's more than $10,000. Whoever you're buying it from has to fill out a form to the IRS and tell the IRS that you gave them $10,000 more or more. Okay, in cash. If you brought $10,000 into your bank, they'd have to report it to the IRS that you brought $10,000 into your bank.
Oh, it changes now. Now you have to report if you make any sale of crypto over $10,000.
Not a sale. Not a sale.
Oh, transaction.
Any transaction. So it's not really a sale. So let's talk about that because here's a story from U.S. Treasury calls for stricter cryptocurrency compliance with the IRS. Says they pose tax evasion risks. Now, we've talked about this even on this show. We've talked about the IRS and tax evasion and crypto, what they're trying to do, that the crypto is now the first question on your 1040 tax return is about crypto. They ask you, have you been dealing with it? The year before it was on Schedule 1, which had to do with any other income. Most people don't have a Schedule 1, so they never answered that question. So now, again, they moved it to the front page to ask you this. So they're very concerned about this tax evasion aspect of cryptocurrency.
I thought the first question was, who is your daddy and what does he do?
It's true. No, that's not the first question. Okay, so the first question, it's not really a question. It's your name, your address. That's not really a question. Okay, they're not, you list it. It's not, they don't say, what is you just answer, what's your, but the first question, again, right at the top, your name, your address, and then right the first line about cryptocurrency. So it says they pose a tax evasion. So the Treasury Department announced that it will require any transfer worth $10,000 or more to be reported to the IRS. Any cryptocurrency transfer. So it's not really just cashing it in. If I will go to buy something and it's worth more than $10,000, whoever is receiving that money has to report it to the IRS. And now it's one thing when it's in an exchange, because those exchanges do report now to the IRS. Kind of reminds me when I was growing up. some years ago, right? Everybody was, the Swiss bank account. You got a Swiss bank account. You were golden because they wouldn't tell on you. You could have anything in there and they would never tell on you. But now the IRS has gotten to them and said, no. And so now they tell on you, right? Now they go after you. So that was a couple of years ago. Some years ago now, but they started cracking all those foreign accounts. And that's why you have all these rules now that have to report all your foreign income or any foreign account. Yes.
I'm sorry. How many clients have you had that have had this situation?
Many. So this, but that, so that's kind of, and a lot of people don't even understand. A lot of foreigners come here and they don't realize that the money, the bank that they have overseas, they're supposed to report it and tell the IRS how much money they have there. And they don't always do that. And then they get caught. They move to America. Now, one thing about American tax law, it's very complicated, much more complicated than most other countries, right? It's very complicated. And they don't know it, but that's a different show. We'll talk about that in a different
I'm
show.
looking forward to that one because people don't understand.
So here now, cryptocurrency already poses a significant detection problem by facilitating illegal activity broadly, including tax evasion, the Treasury said. Investors have seen the value of Bitcoin slide about 25% over the past month, and talk of a capitulation creep is
creeping into online forums. I've seen that. And in fact, I think I sent you something too. It's like, isn't this kind of funny how cryptocurrency is crashing? And we just gave those. Well, I'm not going to do it. I was like, maybe it doesn't have to do with the Russian hackers, but that's crazy stuff. The
Treasury Department on Thursday announced that it is taking steps to crack down on cryptocurrency markets and transactions, and said it will require any transfer worth $10,000 or more to be reported to the Internal Revenue Service. Cryptocurrency already poses a significant detection problem by facilitating illegal activity broadly, including tax evasion, said the Treasury Department. Of course, that's what they're worried about, and that's why they say the tax gap. We talked about this a couple of days ago. The tax gap is greater than it's double what we thought it was all these years, and this is why we're doing it. So I'm always concerned whenever you hear, whenever the government starts coming up and changing their numbers, because they're going to take action, and they're just trying to give you a reason, kind of pave the way, to see what the trial balloons go up to see how you're going to react. And then they do something like this. This is why the president's proposal includes additional resources for the IRS. We've already talked about that, $8 billion more to the IRS to address the growth of crypto assets. The department added, within the context of the new financial account reporting regime, cryptocurrencies and crypto assets, exchange accounts, and payment service accounts that accept cryptocurrencies would be covered.
Now get that frog out of here.
No, we talked about.
Yeah.
But we did talk about the virtual assets, right? We talked about that.
Yeah, so we did talk about the virtual assets. We talked about the NFTs. We talked a lot about
NFTs. That's what I was
saying. And again, just how everything's kind of just going towards this is the future. This is what's going to be. But a lot of big governments have cracked down.
I still don't get the NFT thing.
I have no idea. It doesn't make sense to me.
Okay, so here, continuing with the story, Bitcoin reversed course shortly after the Treasury's announcement and was last seen trading up 1.6%. I don't know if that was today or what's going on. Yes, Jim?
No, I'm just saying 5 minutes.
Okay. According to 5 minutes for what, Jim? According to Coin Metrics, that was a 1.6%. Previously in the session, it was up more than 9%. So it was raising, and then it fell back down today because of this. A growing number of Wall Street analysts have over the past month sounded the alarm that regulators at the Treasury and the Securities and Exchange Commission could soon take a more active role in cryptocurrency regulation. Well, and then here's the Bitcoin over the last
3
months.
Don't tell me that. I'm not looking.
It has fallen.
I know.
It has fallen.
I've told myself that I won't look.
I hope it goes back up. No, I don't. I have some cryptocurrency because because I help people with cryptocurrency, and I wanted to understand it. I am now a certified cryptocurrency expert. I got the certificate and everything.
You do. You
so,
do. I saw it.
So I took the class, and I learned a lot about the crypto, and I'm still learning. I always read everything I can about it. It's kind of what it's right in my wheelhouse in that it's got to do with taxes, which I like, which I do. It's got to do with money, which I like. Yeah. Okay, I like money. It's got to do with technology, right? So I'm always a tech guy. I actually have a master's degree in information technology law, and so it's always been an interest of mine.
Didn't you win some awards for that too?
I have won awards. They're not as
what are they called?
Prestigious as the cryptocurrency expert certificate that I have. I have the badge up on my website now too. So, but anyway, this is what it was. But this is kind of frightening. But when it was going straight up, it wasn't frightening. Everybody's is it going to crash? Like go away? I don't think it's going to go away. Okay.
Cryptocurrency?
No, I'm talking about Bitcoin specifically.
Now. Oh, Bitcoin? No,
yeah.
I think there's too many big players that are involved in crypto. We'll see if the big players start dumping. Yeah, then there's trouble.
Well, I think we have a friend, not really a friend, but a guy on the internet who talks a lot about crypto, and he believes that it's just all the rich people. That's what he said. All the rich people are trying to shake us out. They're trying to shake us out. No, I understand. I don't know if I don't like. I know you do, but I don't think everybody acts in unison. Okay, I don't think so. Although it's kind of odd that as soon as Elon Musk gets on Saturday Night Live, this guy's lost a lot of money.
Well, but what did I say though too? That this is not the show to talk about that. This is all. I was saying that there's war going on, a crypto war between the founders of Bitcoin and Ethereum and the Dogecoin and it's all fighting for control.
I know that, and there's and maybe we'll talk about this in weeks to come about the Chinese crackdown on cryptocurrency. And that has a lot to do with
tax-wise. What does it mean for you tax-wise? But in that essence, though, again, if you have any crypto problems, if you have any issues whatsoever, make sure you call Open Tax Advocates at 312-664-6649 or visit chicagotaxteam.com. Attorney Stephen Leahy is a cryptocurrency, what is it?
Expert.
Now,
as an attorney, I can't call myself an expert as an attorney, but I have a certificate that calls me a cryptocurrency expert. Okay, so
we're just using
I'm just giving the title. So it's not law. That's not legal stuff.
If you have any questions about this recent crypto crash, and when we're talking about taxes, what is the implication?
Well, here's the thing, right? If just the crash, you're only going to have to, if you pay something. Now, remember, if you sell and then rebuy.
Just letting you know that we're not giving any financial advice. Always seek a professional.
Well,
I know you're a professional, but
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about taxes.
I'm
not talking about selling and buying anything. What I'm saying is the taxable event occurs when you sell, right? And I'm only talking about taxes. If you rebuy it within a month, then you might not be able to take some of the losses to offset any gains. So this is a problem. This is a wash. A loss wash. And this is another thing that well, that's not a far thing, right? How are they? I get this a lot from people. That why does 85% of all Americans pay their taxes on time and file their tax returns on time? Is it because they're patriotic Americans? Is it because they want to make sure that they do the right thing, or is it because they're afraid of the IRS?
Oh, it's probably they're afraid of the IRS.
They are afraid of the IRS, and when I have clients come in and say, I don't, and I hear this all the time. I don't mind paying what I owe, but can you get them to drop the penalties and the interest? And I have to always tell them, let's stop and think about what you just asked. Okay, if you owe the IRS and you don't file your tax return, and it's 2 years, 3 years later, whatever, and you don't file the tax return, if you called the IRS and say, "Hey, IRS, can I pay you now?" They say, "Yeah, sure. pay it. No, the penalties. Don't worry about it. We'll waive the penalties.
We're just joking.
Don't even worry about it. Come on, give us the. Don't worry about it. Just pay pay your taxes. Everything's fine. Well, and then you went back to your friends. Your friends said, you say, hey, I owed the IRS some money. Man, it was so simple. I just called them and I did this offer. That's the offer and compromise too, right? I told them, hey, I know you say I owe you $50,000, but I offered them 20. They took the 20. That was it. We're done. Boom. We walked away. Now, what would your friends do if that was the case? Well, I can tell you that my friends probably wouldn't pay their taxes, right? They'd wait and say, hey, 2 years later, hey, I know I owe you 50. My friend got this deal. You just pay 20,000. It was good. It was good. Oh yeah, it's good. Who'd pay their taxes on time? The answer is nobody, right? Nobody would pay. So the compliance comes at you say strong arm, but at the damage is done because when you don't file your tax return, it hurts. Okay, they want it to hurt. The whole process is to hurt you. So now you turn around to your friend, you say, I didn't file my tax return. It was the worst mistake I ever made. The IRS was all over me. It really hurt. Is that there are rules now that they won't let them do that. It wasn't always the case. Right? The IRS used to be able to come in and take everything. Willie Nelson, this is the Willie Nelson story. They took everything. They took his guitars. They took everything, and they left him with nothing. And that was in the 70s. Now that's when the Republicans took over the Congress. They started having all of these hearings about the IRS, and they were bringing people in that were giving horror stories. They came in, they knocked everything down, took my house, that was it. Boom, I was out. And that's when they changed, and they came up with these programs like the offer and compromise, like the installment agreement, currently not collectible status. So that's how this happened. That's how so there are rules to protect you. And that's why you need a lawyer, so you can make them follow those rules, because they won't do it by themselves.
That's terrifying.
Right? It is terrifying.
If they can go after Willie Nelson.
Oh, yeah. So let me just finish this article here, okay?
Okay, let's finish.
Okay. According to the Treasury's estimates, the difference between taxes owed to the United States government and those actually paid totaled nearly $600 billion in 2019. This is the tax gap I was just talking about that they've been increasing over the last all these reports over the last couple of months, because they're trying to justify increasing the IRS and trying to say, see, so many people are cheaters. You're not a cheater, right? You pay your bills. So we should be able to go after the cheaters. And that's why we're going to go after them. We're going to spend a lot more money on the IRS, and we're going to go after the cheaters. And people say, whoa, that's right, go after the cheaters. But here's the thing. They're going after you. They're not only going after the cheaters, right? They're going after everybody. And there's going to be more audits, and you're going to pay more, and all of this. Okay, this is what's going on. Increased regulation will likely upset some cryptocurrency investors who have seen the value of Bitcoin slide by 25% over the past month. Okay, so with longtime cryptocurrency expert at the head of the SEC, Raymond James expects it's only a matter of time until Congress grants the regulator broader jurisdiction. Again, that's what they're looking for. They want that broader jurisdiction. The chairman is viewed as a potential ally for cryptocurrencies as former professor of the topic. However, these statements are likely to revisit debates regarding regulatory risk to cryptocurrencies and exchanges. I don't think the government wants cryptocurrency, right? They want to they will, because they don't control it. Think about the dollar. They control the dollar. And they want to control it. They're not controlling cryptocurrency. And that's what they want to control it. There's Yellen. Oh, boy. In the short term, this could cause headline risk, he added. However, in the medium to long term, regulation would add further legitimacy to the asset class and could provide a regulatory moat around existing cryptocurrency exchanges. Oh, it's going to be a good thing.
This is good for us.
It's going to be good. While involvement by the United States Treasury and the SEC may ultimately prove a boon for cryptocurrency investors, any near-term regulatory hurdles will likely come as another. So it's kind of, you can't have both, I think. Okay, now you can't have crypto. China's coming out with their own cryptocurrency. The United States government is talking about their own cryptocurrency, making the dollar crypto. The differences in regulatory risk and progress are as a means of payment raises an important question. Are other coins recent success due to good news about them, or are they piggybacking on positive sentiment related to Bitcoin? Democrats and Republicans alike have made cryptocurrency regulation a top priority in 2021, as run-ups in the price of Bitcoin and other digital assets last year sparked concerns of market manipulation and uninformed retail. They're only doing it to protect you, right? I don't believe that either. So anyway, that's the story that I wanted to talk about today. We have talked about it. I had one more item. Let me look at my notes because I have one more item I wanted to talk about.
Again, Open Tax Advocates is there for you, ladies and gentlemen. 312-664-6649. We got a lot of great questions. Make sure if you got any questions, just go ahead and ask Attorney Stephen Leahy. Just give him a call at 312-664-6649, or you can go to chicagotaxteam.com and get in touch with him.
So yesterday I talked about renters. Okay, so then the question becomes, if the government gives you money to pay your rent, actually gives your landlord rent for you, gives the landlord the money for you, is that taxable? Right?
Oh, that's a good question.
The IRS came out today and said it's not taxable. They're not going to tax it. These are the things that are happening over the last couple of years that they are really counter to the IRS history, right? Of course, it's not up to the IRS; it's up to Congress. But for instance, the PPP loans, right? We always talk about, well, if you didn't get the money, you can't deduct it. If you're not paying their salaries because the PPP loan is paying the salaries, well, then you shouldn't be able to deduct it. And that was a big hurdle for the PPP. And of course, it came out that way. And right at the last second, they said, no, we waived that. So they waived, so people didn't have to pay taxes on the money they received, the PPP money that they received. And so this is another one of those changes based on, again, it wouldn't be good for them to give you $25,000 and then turn around and tax you on it, right? And so the whole benefit would be kind of counterproductive.
That's fantastic information. Again, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to hear more of this great information on the IRS Radio Hour every Sunday at 5 p.m. on AM 560. The Answer in the Chicagoland area market. You can also catch us on Spotify, just looking up the IRS Radio Hour. Look at this. What's going on? That's the God saying, you've done the Lord's work.
Oh, I know it.
You're turning the lights on and off and on and off. Look at you. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I think that might be the end of our show.
I think it is.
I think that's the sign. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much. Remember, Open Tax Advocates is there for you at 312-664-6649, and visit chicagotaxteam.com. It's going to be your hub to fight the IRS. Remember, you can catch us on Spotify. That's right. All you got to do is look up Tax Time with Attorney Stephen Leahy.
Now, this is the bad part. I don't have our outro, and I don't have the intro.
We're just going to stop.
But we're just going to stop.
So thanks so much. We're going to catch you next week. Oh, make sure you go on to Facebook.
So Monday at 6 o'clock, around 6 o'clock. Yeah, I do want to come out at 6 o'clock, but I had somebody delivered something. I'm at the office, so somebody delivered something.
It was an important package.
And so I didn't, so we started. And, anyway, I have a lot of excuses, and I'd like to share them with you, but we'll do that another time. So next Monday, 6 o'clock, join us. I'll have more of today's tax talk.
T3. Thanks so much, ladies and gentlemen.
T3.